Hey, and welcome back to Snack-ime, where we talk snacks and anime. Well, we eat snacks and we talk anime.
We can talk snacks too.
We should talk snacks more often, I think, because I'm a big foodie.
I like to eat food. I just don't know a lot about food because I don't cook. So
You don't cook?
nope. My husband does.
What do you guys do in the kitchen then? Wait, no, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
No, my husband cooks. I don't. Well,
Do you bake at least?
Hit and miss.
Oh, wow.
I can do boxed things. I can bake every once in a while from scratch, but
Don't ever become Amish.
In my line of work, I work with children, and I was giving the kids water, and my daughter she was like 2.5, and she made this face, and we're like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Mama made soggy water. It don't taste good." So soggy water. And so that's always the running joke that
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Soggy water.
Okay, so today our episode is we're just simply dubbing it White Day, and which is probably going to get us dinged on YouTube or social media.
Yeah, I know.
Things absent of color are apparently bad these days.
Yes. We're talking about the other basically Valentine's Day version in Asian cultures for White Day.
Yes. So having lived in Japan, having experienced White Day, so literally 1 month from Valentine's Day, Japanese people celebrate White Day. Men give the women gifts. And however, unlike in the United States, it says here, women give men the gifts.
Yeah.
Typically chocolates. And men are supposed to often offer a return gift. It's just a way of expressing love. And while, March is, typically considered International Women's Day, this is one day out of the year where the Japanese are like, no, we want to honor our men with romance.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I have Mother's cookies. I took all the white ones out.
Nice. I can't eat those anymore.
I couldn't find any flips. I was sad. There was no flips at Target.
Oh, that's really bummer. I'm going super basic. I have steamed white rice. Although I am wrapping it in little bits of nori and dipping it in soy sauce because, well, rice by itself is kind of flavorless.
We could always rename the episode Valentine's 2.0.
That would probably be safer. Although I do want to see just how many people get pissed off just because we call it White Day. Like it would be so much fun. Like with all the rants that Tyler does on our chat, I kind of want to see how he'd react to that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't want to antagonize.
Yeah. We're family friendly, swear. Huh? Yep. Well, I figured since the theme is for White Day is white, so there are pink ones still in the bag that I will eat.
I can't actually eat the Mother's cookies anymore. And it's not like a dietary thing. It's what happened was I was about 5 or 6, and I got into a car accident with my dad, and the last thing I was eating before the car accident happened was a bag of Mother's. I think it was like the circus animal cookies. Mm-hmm. But I was eating a bag of those, and it's that resonated with me, and I haven't touched it since.
I completely understand. They don't taste as good as they used to, so I don't know if it's just an adult palate and it's just not as good or what. But my kids don't even these are one of my favorites growing up, and my kids don't even really like these either. So
I don't know. I mean, I know that a lot of companies have changed their formulas for how they sweeten things, and it depends on, I guess, what additives they put in.
Yeah.
I don't know. So What anime are we talking about today?
We are talking about, it's called Erased.
Yes. And I've got this nice little montage of videos or of pictures.
Yeah.
So tell us about Erased, Jenae.
Well, Erased is about this young man. He is Satoru. He is in quote present day. He is 29 years old. He was an aspiring manga artist, but he didn't really make it. So he's working at a pizza joint. And he has this weird power that he calls revival. And like you'll see it visually that there's like a little sparkly butterfly that like triggers something. And so like he repeats like almost like a deja vu, kind of like in the Matrix kind of a thing.
And
so then
here.
Yeah. And he has to figure out what's going to happen. Like it could be a bad calamity or something, and that's why he's reliving it again. He's like, okay, what's wrong? How can I fix this? Kind of a thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Groundhog Day, but like way more targeted and specific.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
And like he's had it like throughout his life. And when he's an adult, something bad happens, and like his mom is with him, and his mom gets unalived, and he's blamed. And he's like, what is going on? What's happening? He can't find his mom's phone or anything. He realizes that kidnappings and other unalive things that happened when he was younger in his middle school days actually are connected to his mom's incident. And so the revival usually only sends him back maybe 10 minutes or so, but this time with his mom, it sent him all the way back to when he was in middle school. So then he has to figure out and save the kids that he didn't save back when he was younger, kind of thing. So that way he can save his mom in the future.
Yeah, this is a really complex story. Like, I mean, like the writing on it is so good.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching through it on your recommendation, and I've been amazed. For one, the art is really good. The animation is superb. And again, I've talked about this before, but anime specifically has a lot of detail to it.
Yes.
And it allows us to like, whereas American animation doesn't have the eye for detail as Japanese animation does. Like I mean, you look at this image that's here on the screen, and this is a still shot that I pulled off of Google, and like you can see the door behind him.
Yeah.
And it's not just like a gray doorknob. Like you can see, texture and like you can almost see the grain of the metal and the grain of the wood on the door.
Mm-hmm. Like even the manga or the books behind him, those little details and stuff like that. It's just like you can't see the words, but you can see like the little bits and pieces of the binding on it and stuff like that.
Right. And just I mean, the lighting, everything is just, there's a huge attention to detail, and I love that. And I think that's one of the things that I've always liked about hiccups, that I've always appreciated about anime, because it is so detailed, so almost lifelike.
Yeah.
In the way that they describe the setting. Cool. So how did you find Erased originally?
When Crunchyroll first came out, or at least when I got subscribed, I'm a very visual person, and so the title one where Satoru and Caillou are just laying there together really spoke to me. I'm like, okay, what's this anime about? Because like the art style looked really good, and I didn't even read the synopsis or anything. I was like, okay, let's do this. And I can't remember if it came out week to week, but I remember binge watching it right when it came out because it was so good. And I don't think it was a week to week because I think I finished it within 2 days.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And this is before it was even dubbed. The people that they picked for the voice actors for the dub version are really good too.
Yeah.
But subbed and dubbed, it was both wonderful. Emotionally, it does hit differently almost.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels more serious and not scarier, but like that uneasy feeling when it's in subs. So I don't know if it's because you have to pay attention plus reading and everything. But like it was amazing. When it first came out, I recommended it to one of my best friends, and he liked it so much that when the live action came out, he watched live action. I have yet to watch the
There's a live action version of Erased?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on Netflix. But I still haven't watched it. But he says even the live action was really good too.
Well, that's good. I'll have to check it out because if there's a live action version, I would definitely love to watch that. Yeah, I thought this was really interesting. Like the characterization was really good, and like when he's an adult, obviously it was easier to pay attention to, Satoru and his mom and see who they are and identify them. But like in the episodes where he flashes forward back to before his or to right after his mom is killed, the like he's talking with his buddy, and it doesn't dawn on me, like I can't tell if this is one of his buddies from middle school that was in the flashbacks, or if it was actually just his boss at the pizza parlor.
Yeah,
like it didn't. That part didn't click it on me, but I still thought the way the action is really interesting because it makes me curious to see how this plays out because Irie, his coworker, she helps him out, and she flat out tells the law enforcement that he's not the bad guy. He's the one who tried to help her, and they're like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like it kind of makes me wonder, how embedded the killer is with law enforcement and stuff like that. Like it, at least going through the earlier episodes, and so I'm like, there's a lot of red herrings and a lot of fake clues indicating who the killer actually is. Like just when you think you've got a suspect, it changes.
It's very much with rewatching it again, it reminded me of some M. Night Shyamalan kind of stuff because like hints of red show throughout, but just randomly kind of a thing.
Yeah,
like
the use of
eyes are closed and stuff like that. So like I'm now that I know you haven't like watched all of it, I'm excited to see like after our recording what your reaction's gonna be on who the villain is. So
yeah, I'm really like,
but when we first we're gonna be collaborating with this show even before like we decided to watch Ranma and stuff, I was like, with the certain genre that you write as you as a writer, I was like, he's going to really enjoy Erased.
I really am. And like there's a part of me that wants to believe that the killer is actually one of the kids that he was friends with. But then there's like, it's got to be an adult based on like, unless the shoe prints are a like a misdirect. Like I swear, like just when I think I've got the killer figured out, I have no idea. And see, part of the reason why I like the show so much is I like a good detective story. Like I grew up reading Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. And so like when I get the opportunity to read a good detective story that sends me on this investigation, I jump at it. So I'm really enjoying it. I will say though, the things that kind of put me off are the theme songs at the beginning and the
Oh,
end
really?
credits.
Is it
Like,
because it's too upbeat?
well, the opening song, I
I
actually
really
like it.
enjoy
I dig it because like there's a like in the middle of the song there's a this nice little bass riff. And I'm a bass
Mhm.
player. Like you can't see it over here, but I've got an electric bass and I've got an acoustic electric bass. And so like like having a good bass line is really fun for me to listen to, and like the riff on that song is great, but it's so energetic and upbeat
Yeah, and
that
it's completely
tonally it
different
feels
from the
really
show.
different. And then the closing song is very mellow
Mhm.
and um
Very
and
eerie.
kind of eerie, but at the same time a little romantic. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's like,
don't
wait.
like what tone am I supposed to take here? Like one whole episode is like emotional whiplash because like I go in from like high energy, rock and roll to very very hard to watch, emotionally charged, detective investigation, crime drama to with some elements of time travel to eerie romance.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to feel right?
Maybe it's supposed to be like a palate cleanser.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
It's the,
It's like the wasabi before the next type of
the,
sashimi.
the opening theme song gets you all pumped, and then you're like in suspense during the show, and then this is just the downlay of like, okay, this is what's going on.
Yep.
But like, because I love almost all opening and ending theme songs for most of the anime that I've ever watched. Like, are all amazing. Sometimes they have nothing to do with the show whatsoever, but like the songs themselves are just amazing. So
Yeah.
it was just I also remember when I first watched this that when other people watched it, they're like, it's over. Well, there's not going to be any more. I felt the same. I was like, yes, other people feel the exact same for me. But
Yeah.
like I will say how it ends, like if they ever were to bring back a season 2, because it's the anime came out in 2016.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know what they could do from there with how they ended it, because it was that good. And some anime, when it ends, I'm like, okay, and then they make a second season. It's like, why? It was fine.
So, fun fact: I just looked on Netflix. Erase is still there.
The live action.
Yeah, the live action. Ironically enough, it's 12 episodes too.
Okay.
And it came out in 2017, so a year after the anime.
Yeah, because the manga was published from 12 to 16. So
Yeah, and
I
I
wouldn't
gotta
mind
say
having a
the the premise of it is just like, I don't know, one of the things I like about it is the fact that the modern day setting is 2006.
yeah.
And so like when he flashes back, he's flashing back to 1988, and I'm trying to sit there and think about like, how old I was in those years. Like 2006, I was transitioning from junior college to a 4-year university, but I was already in my mid 20s. I was only a couple of years younger than Satoru. Whereas in 1988, I was 6 years old. He was obviously like what, 10 or 11, something like that. And I'm just like, holy cow. And the thing I really appreciated about it is, again, this is attention to detail. Like the animators and the writers are really paying attention to what things looked like between the two eras, because like things, you look at how things looked in 2006 versus how they looked in 1988, vastly different, even in an urban setting like Tokyo.
Yeah.
So that's something I really appreciate.
The hairstyles and all that. It was really, really good. They did really good job. I love it's a not a running gag, but like when Satoru is talking in his head, but then
Mhm.
he'll say something and he's like, crap, I said it out loud.
Yes.
And it's like, and it's happened multiple times and
Yes.
it makes me laugh. And what also makes me laugh is from watching subs to dubs because like he'll call his mom a yokai, but
Mhm.
in the dubs he'll call her a witch, which I find hilarious.
Yeah. Well, and
Because
because I don't think there's
which
I
is like spirits and demons and things like that. So I think it's funny that
yeah.
they just started witch.
Yeah, I caught that as well. Like, one of the things
But
that I got really emotionally tied into is the episode where he flashes forward again right after his mom has died,
mhm.
and he jumps over the wall to get away from the cops.
It's not very
And
athletic. It makes me laugh because
no,
it's like
he's not.
he's
He
not
looks,
he's not out of shape, but he's just not athletically inclined.
yeah, he has no coordination, which is weird because like as a kid, he's
Yeah.
way more coordinated. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what happened in the intervening years where he lost coordination?
Yeah.
But like when he jumps over that wall, the thing I thought was really cool is like he gets hit with that spotlight when he's looking for the phone,
Yeah.
and the first thing that pops up is a girl's voice saying, "You're an idiot," and I'm like,
I
Kyle,
know.
she's
I
alive?
know.
And no,
That
it turns out it's Irie.
and it was Irie. Well, and then like when I first watched it, I thought that Irie was somehow going to be like Kaio's kid or something, or like
Right.
little sister or something like that, because they look so similar and like the way she was acting with Satoru, but then
Mhm.
that wasn't the
And
case.
again, I think that's another great peg towards the writing because then you have that misdirect. So just when you think you've got it figured out, it goes in a completely different tangent, and
Mhm.
you're left going, "What the heck just happened?"
Yeah.
Um, like the last episode I just watched was the one where he goes with his mom to get he's trying to save his friend, the one that looks a little girlish, even though it's a
Yeah.
boy,
Yeah.
and um, he's trying to help out. His mom's like, "Here, help me carry the groceries," and then they get stopped by his teacher, and the teacher
Yeah.
gives him a ride, and like I had some questions. I'm like, maybe the teacher's the killer, and then like Satoru finds his stash of candy in the car, and I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Like he was real. Like I don't know why it's embarrassing for a teacher to have like a bag of candy in his car. Like
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like I completely understand needing to have some other ritual when you've quit smoking because, I mean,
Well,
that's what
I just think
typically
it's
what
funny
happens.
that he's stuck like 4 or 5. So there's like 4 or 5 sticks coming out of his mouth while he's driving, and so he's talking like this. And then you forget the mom is completely there, and the mom's like, "Hey, you need to hand me some candy,"
Right?
because she was quiet throughout this whole thing.
The whole
He
exchange.
had this
Yeah, I completely
twirly
forgot. He's like,
moment.
well, my secret's out. And he's just tapping on the steering wheel. I'm like, oh god, he's gonna
Yeah.
kill this kid.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Complete like I will say though, one of the things I think is really cool is that when Satoru flashes forward back to 2006,
Mm-hmm.
he's not in a different situation.
Yeah,
He's
he's in the same.
right back where he left
Mm-hmm.
off. It's only when he flashes back to 1988 that he kind of picks up from a different angle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
And I
because he's
kind of
trying
want like
to.
I kind of want to see like how the time like the branches in the timeline to see like because like
Mhm.
when you look at for example Back to the Future and they talk about the alternate 1985 and
Yeah.
everything that happened because of the book that Marty finds in the future, or you look at the timeline that branches off in the MCU with the sacred timeline, how everything veers
Yeah.
off in different directions. Like like I want to see how his impact on the time travel like
Yeah.
affects that timeline. Like seeing those branches would
That
be
would
interesting.
that would be cool if they ever did a season 2 doing like the alternate timeline where like he couldn't save his mom and see what happens with that, or like, as you said, a different alternate timeline where like how it breaks apart certain things. But but yeah, it's really good. So I can't wait for you to watch the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to because here's a great diagram I just found, and nope, that's Dragon Ball. Never mind, screw that.
I won't make you watch Dragon Ball. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Well, when it's like 20 episodes of powering up. Now back in the day when it first came out with Toonami and stuff, we were okay with it because at least we were getting some really cool stuff. But now it's just like, oh, come on.
Yeah, man, it is. Yeah.
Well, like even the creator of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, he said like some of the episodes were I believe like Piccolo and Goku were learning how to drive a car. They had to put that in there because the anime caught up with the manga and he didn't even know what was going to happen.
They just needed filler episodes.
So they needed some filler episodes. And he even stated when he was still alive that like some stuff isn't canon and is canon because like it was such a long series that he forgot what was canon. And like he said another one was like the reason why like Super Saiyan is blonde is because he didn't want to have to ink the hair going up because that was just a lot more work. And he's like, hey, they're super now. So, look, their appearance changed. So that's one less thing that I have to do. So
animators were always looking for an easy way out. Like, if you notice, like, there's a lot, like, I was watching an anime where maybe it was part of Erased, where they're talking about all the cheats that you see in animation, where like you have a lot of characters who are shot from behind, so you don't have to see. So the animators were
Invincible.
Yes, that's what it was.
Like when Mark was at a Comic-Con, he's like, yeah, what do? You do still shots or panning when big groups, or it's just the hand, but you can still hear the voice.
Right, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. Like it's something I've never noticed before, but now that I'm aware of it, I can't not see it.
It can't be unseen.
Like, because like there's a scene where Satoru and Kaio are talking, and they're shot from like far off, and like they're not moving, and obviously it's a static shot, but you hear the characters talking as if from a distance. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's one of those cheats where the animator just has something on screen.
Or if it was snowing or something, then the snow just moves. So at least they're standing still, but the snow is moving. Kind of
right. Mm-hmm. Right. Less complicated to animate. That's funny. So if obviously, I mean, if you were to give the show a letter grade, you would give it probably like an A++++.
Yeah, or S tier is like, because like even though William says that I'm just trying to mess with him, like when certain anime recommendations, like for the most part, I will look at the person, I will ask them what kind of genres they like, and I will give my perspective of like, oh, I think they will enjoy this. Like, I am unsure if we will ever watch Sailor Moon because I don't know if we would enjoy Sailor Moon, even though it's technically kind of Power Rangers, but without the mechs. It's all women, kind of a thing.
I mean, I might get into it. I think probably. I mean, it's tall girls in tiny skirts, so I might like it.
Yeah, but the original Sailor Moon is like long and like drawn out, kind of like Dragon Ball, because they had to have those filler episodes because they had new villains every week, kind of a thing. But when they redid it with Sailor Moon Crystal, with the first 2 seasons, the animation style was crap. They tried to mix the manga style and the old animation style, but it just fell flat because they were also doing 3D and it didn't work. And so then the later season plus the movies that they decided to do instead of seasons, they fixed the animation style, and I was okay with that. I just wish they would go back and do the same animation style that what they fixed back on the first 2 seasons of Crystal, because I think it would have been better in my opinion. But like also in the original Sailor Moon, and I get it, they redubbed it because they didn't use the original names. So when Sailor Moon first came out and it was on Toonami, they gave them some of them English names. And I get that. It happens. But I kind of wish, because I really enjoyed the voice actors for it, and I wish they would have used the same voice actors. When they redubbed it, some of the characters sound exactly the same. So you're like, okay, this person's talking, but I thought it was this person talking, kind of a thing. And so I just feel like the voices that they picked for the redub just didn't mesh. And so when I was watching the Sailor Moon Crystal, they used the same voices, I believe, from the new redub of the OG. And so that was really hard for me to get through. So then I just watched it as subs because at least I was okay with the sub voices.
Yeah.
I have audio visual problems sometimes when it comes to like anime or voices and stuff, because it's like if they sound too similar, it's just like no, that's not going to work for me. And all they had to do for most of it, if they really wanted to use the OGs, they would have had to have them do is like re-say the names for the most part when they were talking, and they could have just spliced it back in and it would have been probably fine.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? You'd rather spend more money to pay these actors to do this instead of just pay them just a little bit just to fix the names.
Right? Oh my gosh. Animation problems. Right. Thankfully, I don't have to I thankfully don't have to worry about that too much. All right. Well, hey, we're getting ready to wrap up. Right. Tell the good folks over on the interwebs where they can find you. Wait, hold on. Before you do that,
bless you.
Oh,
I was doing that all morning. I took an allergy pill. I feel a lot better. I don't sound better, but I feel a lot better. I was sneezing.
What are we talking about next month?
We are talking about Alien Monday. Yes. And it's tied into the Alien franchise, is what you've told me. So I'm excited to watch it.
I'm actually trying to gear this up where we have this released. Like, Kat's probably going to kill me on this, but I kind of think I want to convince her to release it on April 26th, which is Alien Day. It's a Saturday instead of a Friday.
Oh, okay.
But how cool would that be for Alien Day that we have Snack-ime Saturday?
That'd be fun. I'm sure if we have a couple shorts to fill in, and I think we'll be fine.
I think we can make that happen. We can make that happen, Gavin. All right, go ahead and tell the good folks out there on the interwebs where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on the Geek Gauntlet podcast on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then you can find me on my Instagram at JELXINB for my art. I am doing an art challenge where I'm drawing one thing a day, all Sailor Moon related. And I'm up into the 60s, but by the time this comes out, it'll be the 70th day or so.
Oh my gosh.
I'm still going strong. I did this challenge back in 2021, not with Sailor Moon, but just a drawing a day. So that's also still on my Instagram as well, if anyone wants to go check that out too. And I use lots of drawing references. Otherwise, I personally feel like my art doesn't look as good without seeing a drawing reference. So
very cool. Very cool indeed. All right. What about me? Well, as for me, you guys can find me on Instagram and X at GKJ_publishing, where I talk about my books and what I write. In fact, I just had a new book come out last month. It's called Midnight Playground. It is a collected anthology of original short stories. It's got everything from science fiction to fantasy to romance and a little bit of a few ghost stories. So a whole run of different things for people to like and enjoy. I also talk about my show on YouTube the right way. Just search for GKJ Publishing. We talk book recommendations, author interviews, and creative writing tips. In fact, I have a new episode that's coming out tomorrow. So as we're recording this, we're talking about the 15th. So tomorrow, the March 15th, is a new full episode. And then in 2 weeks, I have another episode called the Spring Preview, where I prep everybody for my Author Awareness April Marathon.
Nice.
So yeah, so that's going to do it for us. Remember, eat snacks, watch anime, enjoy life.
Bye.
And